There we go. Yeah. Got it.
Good afternoon, happy Saturday, and welcome to the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, Illinois for another presentation of NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Today, inside the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, Illinois, it's Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Women's Volleyball as the Scarlet Hawks get set to take on the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Chris Rouse sitting courtside here inside the Keating Center where you can excuse my earlier mistake, but in the past 3 matches, the Scarlet Hawks have been mistake-free. They've been able to get 3 straight wins, have Illinois Tech. They've battled back into 9th place in the NAC women's volleyball standings, sitting at a record of 6-11, 2-3 in conference play. They come in following a win last night, actually, however, non-conference against the Lake Forest Foresters. 3-1 for Illinois Tech last night, and as of late, Scarlet Hawks have been powered by the play of junior out of Lakewood, California, number 13, Victoria Asperez. She's been in the top 3 for the Scarlet Hawks in kills in each of their last 3 matches, and Illinois Tech, along with the play of Asperez, will be powered by the play of London Francis as Illinois Tech looks to try to get a 4th consecutive win and tries to get to 500 in conference play. Today they'll take on a Wisconsin Lutheran team, which comes in with a record of 7-11 on the season, 3-1 in conference play, which is good for 4th place in the conference. But Wisconsin Lutheran will be coming in looking to bounce back following a loss which ended their 3-match win streak. They took a loss on Tuesday at the hands of the Wheaton Thunder. That ended a 3-match win streak, which included 2 of the common opponents that Illinois Tech has faced in their current 3-match win streak, Marion and Lake Forest. The most recent win for Wisconsin Lutheran occurred last Saturday, October the 4th, when they beat the Rockford Regents 3-0. Today here inside the Keating Center, we're going to get the starting lineups and the introduction and first serve in just a moment as the Warriors get set to take on the Scarlet Hawks in today's women's volleyball matchup inside the NAC.
Now, let's meet our starting lineups, beginning with the Warriors. A sophomore middle hitter from Dixon, Illinois, number 1, Alexa Varden. A senior outside hitter from Reidsville, Wisconsin, number 2, Emily Marone. A senior outside hitter from Volleyball, Wisconsin, number 10, Kayla Woodley. A first-year setter from Keating, Wisconsin, number 11, Lauren Chapin. A senior middle hitter from Eastern Wisconsin, number 16, Kate Smith. A senior opposite from Keating, Wisconsin, number 19, Lydia Bailey. A first-year libero from West Bend, Wisconsin, number 7, Brooke Bartlett. The Warriors are led by head coach Jenny Voss in her 9th season and assistant coaches Bailey Merrill, Sammy Riley, and Melissa Sheen. And now, please start box. A first-year outside hitter from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 1, Cecilia Betters. A sophomore outside hitter from Maui, Ohio, number 5, Sydney Wilson. A first-year setter from Dunlap, Illinois, number 7, Veronica Lopez. A junior middle from Lakewood, California, number 13, Victoria Escaras. A senior middle from Jacksonville, Florida, number 14, London Francis. A junior middle from Boulder, Colorado, number 19, Elliot Donaldson. A junior libero from Dallas, Texas, number 6, Brooke Rifkin. The Scarlet Hawks are led by head coach Mark Johnston in his 7th season and assistant coach Justin Carter.
Getting ready for the 9th all-time meeting between the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks and the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Wisconsin Lutheran, they've taken 6 of the previous 8 meetings. In fact, Illinois Tech won the first meeting, lost 3 straight, won a meeting, and then they've lost the three most recent meetings to Wisconsin Lutheran. They come in today with a 3-match win streak against Wisconsin Lutheran, which the Warriors will be led by 9th season head coach Jenny Lee Voss, and they will start with number 1, Alexa Varden, number 2, Emily Marone, number 10, Kayla Wigley, number 11, Lauren Charbonneau, number 16, Faith Smith, number 19, Lydia Biggin, and number 7, Brooke Bartelt will be the libero. For Illinois Tech, led by Mark Johnston in his 7th season, looking to get a win here against Wisconsin Lutheran for the first time in 3 tries, or this will be the 4th attempt for Illinois Tech to break that 3-match winning streak here. They'll be led by head coach Mark Johnston, as I said, in his 7th season, and he'll start with number 1, Cecilia Vetters, number 5, Sydney Wilson, number 7, Veronica Lopez, number 13, Victoria Asperez, number 14, London Francis, number 19, Lilia Donaldson, and the libero will be number 6, Brooke Rifkin, out of Dallas, Texas. Wisconsin Lutheran, if they've won the last 3 meetings, that means that one of those meetings has to include the most recent outing, of course, which occurred last season between these two teams back on October 26, 2024. Illinois Tech's most recent victory against Wisconsin Lutheran was on October 16, 2021. Veronica Lopez on the serve here to begin the matchup in 2025, and Illinois Tech gets the opening point off the serve from Lopez. Lopez played very well for Illinois Tech in their win on Wednesday against Concordia. 3-1 victory for the Scarlet Hawks in that win on Wednesday, and now Wisconsin Lutheran looking to atone for their loss at the hands of Wheaton earlier this week back on Tuesday. Gets on the board here. Lauren Charbonneau to serve, the first-year player out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. And the ball goes over clean for Charbonneau, received by Rifkin, the libero for Illinois Tech. Ball tapped into the net, short from Vetters. And the first-year player out of New Orleans, Louisiana, picks up the attack error for Illinois Tech, giving the Warriors the early 2-1 advantage. Charbonneau to serve again. Charbonneau gets it to that back line, received by Wilson. Wilson able to just bump it over. Lopez to Francis. Kept alive by Bartelt. Outside hit opportunity for Wisconsin Lutheran, and that was just a beautiful hit. Great pass by Bartelt. And they get the outside hit in the kill. Just hit perfectly down the line. And it's now 3-1 Wisconsin Lutheran. Charbonneau to serve again. Charbonneau sends it over. Wilson and Rifkin almost collide, but it's Wilson on the reception. Francis with a very good swing in the kill as she sends it right back towards Lauren Charbonneau to make it a 3-2 Warrior advantage, but now Scarlet Hawks control the serve. Hannah Rude getting set to sub in here for Wisconsin Lutheran. She will replace Charbonneau. It's now 3-4-11. Rude will take her place right next to Bartelt on that back line for Wisconsin Lutheran. 4 players on that back line for the reception. Serve coming from Maya Zinkowitz. First-year player out of Huber Heights, Ohio. Kayla Wigley on the reception. And the kill for Wisconsin Lutheran sort of caught Zinkowitz backing up there, and Emily Marone was able to knock it down for the kill. Wisconsin Lutheran this season led, really, when you look at the numbers, by Kayla Wigley and Lydia Biggin, but Emily Marone is in the mix as well. However, it'll be a service error for Wisconsin Lutheran, giving the serve to Rifkin for Illinois Tech. 4-3, the score in favor of Wisconsin Lutheran. Opening set. Rifkin sends it over. Bartelt sets up the outside hit. That's a long hit for Wigley and also a little bit wide. And Illinois Tech able to work themselves back into a tie. Rifkin to serve. Rifkin, the junior out of Dallas, Texas. A former Richardson alum. Good job by Rifkin there, right on cue to make contact with the ball. And then the side out off the block, point to Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks with a 5-4 advantage. Illinois Tech at 2-3 in conference play, sitting in 9th place in the NAC. The 6-11 overall, going up against a 7-11 team is Wisconsin Lutheran. And they'll get a kill here from Wigley. But Wisconsin Lutheran 7-11 overall, 4th place in the conference due to their 3-1 conference record. Illinois Tech right behind them in terms of overall record at 6-11, 2-3 in conference play. Zinkowitz on the reception. Rifkin setting up Wilson. Wilson to the back line, played by Bartelt. Middle of the floor for Wisconsin Lutheran. Good hit from Marone. And there is Emily Marone, once again, one of those key players for the Warriors. You usually see Marone number 2, Wigley number 10, or Biggin number 19 around the ball for the Warriors when they look for a kill. That's now Bartelt on the serve. Lopez makes the long run to feed Wilson on the pass, who sets it over. Tapped over the net by Faith Smith. Wilson outside hit. Hits the middle of the floor. And the point to Illinois Tech on the violation. Tied at 6. Pair of subs for Illinois Tech as they go to Anna Jones, number 22, and Olivia McMath, number 3. McMath will serve. McMath, another player, had a solid performance for Illinois Tech in their win on Wednesday against Concordia University of Chicago. Smith over to Zinkowitz. Wilson bumps it over the net. Bartelt with a long run, almost a collision. And it's kept alive by Wisconsin Lutheran. Asperez with a great hit. Asperez has been on fire as of late. The kill numbers have been at 14, 11, and 8 in each of the last 3 matches. Not necessarily in that order, but those were the 3 kill totals that she's put out in this Illinois Tech win streak. She gets a kill here to make it a 7-6 Scarlet Hawk advantage. Rifkin on the reception. Good job by Rifkin and McMath to avoid collision. Anna Jones sends it over. Outside hit coming from Wisconsin Lutheran. It was Wigley. They're reloaded this time for Biggin. It'll be Wilson who taps it over. Bartelt. This is for Biggin. And Biggin gets the kill. That was a good feed by Wisconsin Lutheran. They were looking for Biggin the entire way. Couple of passes to 19 in black. They finally hit Biggin, and the senior out of Burlington, Wisconsin, delivered the point. Now she'll deliver the serve. Tied at 7. Big into the back line. Received by Rifkin for Illinois Tech. Zinkowitz tapped it over. Good block at the top of the net by Faith Smith. Jones gets it over. Looked like Biggie may have slipped. And Jones able to get the kill as Illinois Tech goes up 8-7. Cecilia Vetters back on. Anna Sebastio to serve. Sebastio, the senior out of Berlin, Germany. Coach Mark Johnston and assistant coach Justin Parra having some words with one another as they watch on this serve from Sebastio. Nearly an ace for Anna Sebastio. And then the point to Kayla Wigley, the senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, coming through. Wisconsin Lutheran, they've won the last 3 against Illinois Tech, including when they met on October the 26th last season. And that match was Lydia Biggin had 7 kills. That's one of the top 3 for Wisconsin Lutheran. Here it's Illinois Tech getting the kill. In fact, Illinois Tech, they had Carla Troutman-Mendez had 13 kills. London Francis had 11, and Anna Jones had 9 the last time these two teams played. And we've seen big performances out of Francis and Jones already this week. Speaking of Jones, there she is on the set. Great pass from McMath to set up Vetters. Too much from Cecilia Vetters as she sends it too far to the south windows here at the Keating Center. Quite a fun, certainly a fun facility is the Keating Center. I've been coming here for almost a decade calling different games. And this building, just something fun about this building on a Saturday afternoon for any type of athletics here at Illinois Tech. As Anna Jones on the reception. Donaldson sends it over. That ball's going to go out of play in the kill to Illinois Tech. Keating Center certainly getting its fair share of events this week, with Illinois Tech having volleyball action on Wednesday and, of course, today against Wisconsin Lutheran. After this, Illinois Tech will hit the road for a pair of matches against Dominican and MSOE. Those will be key matches. MSOE in 8th place, the last spot, currently holding on to the last spot in the NAC conference tournament standings. Dominican on the outside looking in, sitting in 11th. But Illinois Tech, if they were able to win this match and then take care of business, will work some wonders for the Scarlet Hawks in terms of getting into the conference tournament. If they get a kill here, 11-9. Veronica Lopez has been playing with so much confidence this week. You saw that earlier against Concordia on Wednesday when Illinois Tech won. She had a number of key plays for the Scarlet Hawks, which helped them secure a pair of those 3 sets. Point to Wisconsin Lutheran is now the Warriors. We'll have Lauren Charbonneau back to serve. Charbonneau this season with 21 total kills, but also 28 total service aces entering the match. And the point to Wisconsin Lutheran, too many hits for Illinois Tech. Now Charbonneau to serve again. Charbonneau going to serve from that southeast corner here inside the Keating Center. Bartelt sets it up for Marone. Marone, that was a great hit by Marone. Perfectly placed ball. Going to be tough for Sebastio really to even get any kind of lift underneath that hit. And as a result, Wisconsin Lutheran with a 12-11 advantage. Charbonneau again. Sends it over clean. Received by Rifkin. Lopez sets up the outside hit. Tapped over by Vetters. Bartelt bumped that one up close to the net. That was a good block by Illinois Tech, but kept alive by Wisconsin Lutheran. Lopez for Donaldson. That's a long run for Wisconsin Lutheran as the Scarlet Hawks get it done with Donaldson. Zinkowitz coming back on. Zinkowitz will serve. Also, Wilson coming into the matchup. Assistant coach Justin Parra calling for the energy to be picked up by that Scarlet Hawk roster. Scarlet Hawks got the kill, but I don't think the coaching staff was too pleased Usually you see a celebration after every point either way. But very light celebration there for Illinois Tech, despite getting the point. Francis punches one over. Great job defensively by Rude to keep it alive. He's going to be slapped over by Varden and killed by Varden. Good play by Alexa Varden. Varden's got that left leg wrapped up. Didn't hinder her ability to just slap that one over the net. Got a lot of wraps, got all sorts of finger wraps. I know we went over that on Wednesday with one of the Concordia players that had the splints on the fingers. As now we're tied at 13 on the service error. You notice that with a lot of volleyball players, you see a lot of those fingers start to get taped up. More players with their fingers taped up as the season goes along. And now here's an outside hit for Wisconsin Lutheran with Wigley. Lopez sets it up for Asperez, but Asperez hits it too long. And the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. This is a fun matchup here. Both of these teams, an evenly matched opening set. You've got Wisconsin Lutheran 7-11 total record, 3-1 in conference play. And a lot of those conference wins coming during their 3-match win streak. And there's a kill for Zinkowitz for the Scarlet Hawks. We're tied at 14. It's really interesting to see which takes control. It's really going to be interesting to see which takes control here. Illinois Tech has the momentum. They've won 3 straight matches. Wisconsin Lutheran had won 3 straight matches, then lost a non-conference affair against Wheaton earlier this week. So you see Wisconsin Lutheran coming out in a matchup that could help them in the standings. It's also a conference affair, and they have the extra motivation to get back into the win column following the loss on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech with an opportunity to make something happen in the conference standings, would possibly shake them up. Asperez with a great hit there to the right corner and a kill for Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech, they've won 3 straight. Beat Marion, beat Concordia University of Chicago, so they beat the 2 teams that are currently at the bottom of the conference standings. Concordia University of Chicago currently in 12th. Marion in 14th with Alverno sandwiched in between at 13th. Illinois Tech with a 2-point advantage, up 16-14. Here is Olivia McMath. McMath sends it over. Bumped into the air by Rude. Big and able to get it over the extender, so the ball is still live. Wilson, outside hit. That should be a kill. It is. That was a perfectly placed ball by Wilson on her swing. It hit the hand of Faith Smith, ricocheted down the line, and the point to the Scarlet Hawks. Timeout, Wisconsin Lutheran. Coach Jenny Lee Voss and the Warriors will take a break. We'll take one with them. 17-14, Scarlet Hawks. Set 1 continues after this break. We'll be back with more NCAA Division III women's volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Back here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, you're watching NCAA Division III women's volleyball here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Our next presentation of Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks athletics will be on Wednesday, October the 15th, women's soccer action when the Scarlet Hawks take the pitch against the Dominican Star. 7 p.m. right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. That will be at Stewart Field. Scarlet Hawks bouncing back following a loss on Monday against the University of Chicago Maroons with a 13-0 victory on Wednesday against the Lakeland Muskies. But here in women's volleyball action, Scarlet Hawks with an 18-14 edge, thanks to Anna Jones in that most recent kill. And the Scarlet Hawks up 4. Throughout most of that timeout, it sounded as if maybe the focus was on energy. It sounded like Coach Justin Parra, he was upset with the energy prior to the timeout, back when the score was 12 apiece. And now here's a missed hit for Wisconsin Lutheran. And the Scarlet Hawks with a 5-point advantage on the scoreboard. Charbonneau back on for Wisconsin Lutheran, replacing Hannah Rude. Rude's numerical counterpart, McMath, will serve for Illinois Tech. McMath out of Midland, Michigan, the sophomore. Ball punched over by Biggin. Good job by Jones on the long run. Wilson also with a slight run to the front of the net. Outside hit opportunity for Biggin. Received by Zinkowitz. Shot clock goes off in the building. Both teams continue to play. And now an issue. They're going to just stop play as we get a good rally between the two teams here. As the horn in the building, about 100% why the, not 100% why the horn in the building went off. The clocks are off. The only clock that is on in the building is the timeout clock. The officials are trying to get it straightened out. And that's just an unfortunate situation. Killed what appeared to be a pretty good rally, as now McMath will serve. Outside hit for Biggin, and the kill for Wisconsin Lutheran. So the Warriors get the kill. Biggin back to serve. Biggin has been a huge part of this team since arriving on campus, the senior out of Burlington, Wisconsin. Mentioned how she was third on the team in kills when Wisconsin Lutheran defeated Illinois Tech last season. Now a block from Faith Smith. Smith and Charbonneau, the two players in the area, but that appeared to be more Smith than Charbonneau. Smith, the junior out of Racine, Wisconsin, listed as 5 feet 10 inches. Jones to the net. That one right into the net for Illinois Tech. And after that awkward clock stoppage there, that awkward horn stoppage, Wisconsin Lutheran has rallied off a couple of points, and Coach Mark Johnston wants time to talk about it. 19-17 score. Scarlet Hawks still lead it by 2. The officials are actually still here at the table trying to get that clock issue figured out, because none of the clocks in the building are running. Neither are the shot clocks. But while the officials get that going and Coach Johnston and the Scarlet Hawks talk it over, we'll go over our NAC scoreboard for today. We mentioned how this is a matchup between the 4th place Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors and the 9th place Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks here in the NAC. Elsewhere in the conference, you got the number 2, the Edgewood Eagles, taking on. They're on the road. They're going to be on the road taking on the number 11 Dominican Stars. That's actually the next team that Illinois Tech will face when they see Dominican on Tuesday, October the 14th. Elsewhere, you got the number 8 MSOE Raiders taking on the number 7 Concordia University of Wisconsin Falcons. You got the number 10 Lakeland Muskies taking on the number 6 Rockford Regents. The number 13 Alverno Inferno taking on the aforementioned number 12 Concordia University of Chicago Cougars, who come in as the number 12 team in the conference. The top team in the conference, the St. Norbert Green Knights, they'll be up in Maine in the Maine Meriden Academy Tournament. Today they'll take on SUNY Delhi at about approximately 1:30 Central Time, and then they'll have a later matchup against the host, against Maine Meriden in that same tournament. And then, of course, at 3 p.m. locally, the number 3 team in the conference, the Aurora Spartans, will take on the number 14 Marion Sabres. All of that action going on today here in the NAC. Most of it happening now. So we're glad you're joining us here at the Keating Center, where the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors have rallied off 3 straight points to come back and pull within 1. It's 19-18. The only team that was not mentioned in our schedule, we'll get to in a moment, is now Rifkin makes a long run. Anna Jones over her head keeps it alive. Bartelt, long hit there from Wigley, point to the Scarlet Hawks. The only team not mentioned in that NAC scoreboard was the number 5 Benedictine Eagles. They'll be in action Wednesday against Concordia University of Chicago at 6 p.m. Sydney Wilson to serve. Scarlet Hawks by 2. Wilson over the line, over to the back line, received by Wigley. Wigley going for the kill. Kept alive by the Scarlet Hawks. Rifkin on the bump pass to Jones and the kill. Scarlet Hawks by 3. Great effort. Again, that was Rifkin who got in position right in the middle of the floor to make the bump pass and set it up for Jones. Outside hit for Wisconsin Lutheran. There's Jones again on the set. McMath to Asperez, who just tapped it over the net. Going to be tough for Wisconsin Lutheran, but Charbonneau got it over. McMath to Asperez. It's in for Asperez. Scarlet Hawks by 4. Jenny Lee Voss and the Warriors. They'll take the timeout. 22-18 Scarlet Hawks. Getting late here in set 1. Wisconsin Lutheran. They take the timeout here. We'll actually keep it here inside the Keating Sports Center. Wisconsin Lutheran, as we mentioned coming in, looking to bounce back from a loss at the hands of the Wheaton Thunder, which ended a 3-match win streak for Wisconsin Lutheran. They come in against Illinois Tech, which has won 3 straight matches themselves. But prior to the loss against Wheaton, Wisconsin Lutheran defeated Rockford 3-0 on Saturday, October the 4th. They beat Marion on October the 2nd 3-1 and beat Lake Forest as well 3-1 on September 26th. That concluded the Wisconsin Lutheran triangular that they had against the University of Wisconsin lacrosse, which actually was their most recent loss prior to the loss at the hands of Wheaton on Tuesday. Coming up next for Wisconsin Lutheran, they'll see Aurora third in the conference. They'll see them on Thursday, and then they'll see Concordia University of Chicago themselves on what Wisconsin Lutheran will have Parent Appreciation Day on October the 18th, next Saturday at Time of Grace Center, where they take on the Concordia University of Chicago Cougars. Here at Illinois Tech next Saturday will be doubleheader soccer action on October the 18th when the Scarlet Hawks take on the MSOE Raiders. 1 p.m. women's matchup, 3:30 p.m. men's matchup. We'll have that for you right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Kayla Wigley sends the ball over. Great effort by Rifkin to get to the ground. Biggin hits it long. McMath watches it go. Scarlet Hawks by 5, 23-18. A lot of momentum for Illinois Tech. They've been playing well this week. I mentioned the wins against Lake Forest and the win against Concordia, both 3-1 victories. Scarlet Hawks have yet to sweep anyone. McMath with a set. And I'm not sure if Asperez fell or what happened there. But McMath was setting it for Asperez. And Asperez really looked like she got her foot stuck in the floor there. She fell down to a knee. Really just a weird play. It stopped her from taking off to get that running start towards the ball. Anna Jones off the serve from Wigley and the kill for Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks by 5, and now they have set point with Asperez going back to serve. Asperez with 4 kills in this set. Unable to get the ace. Marone to McMath. Asperez long run sets up Jones. Not enough room for Jones to operate, so she just bumped it over. Marone with a good swing. Donaldson on the tap over. Play to the front of the net. And a perfect tap there by Faith Smith. She read that all the way. That was a good pass by Charbonneau. She really just put it where Smith could do whatever she wanted with the ball. And Smith able to just tap it where all the Scarlet Hawks, it looked as if the Scarlet Hawks had overloaded to that west side of the net. Smith went the opposite direction nearest to the table, the east side of the net. Willa Hollander to serve, sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri. And Hollander gets the ace. That's a huge ace for Wisconsin Lutheran, as it allows them to pull within 3. Hollander with now 19 aces on the season, her first serve of the afternoon. And she adds to her ace total on the season, but then she follows with a service error, her 10th of the season, and it allows Illinois Tech to take a set 1 victory. 25-21, Scarlet Hawks take set 1 over Wisconsin Lutheran. The teams will switch sides, and when we return to the Keating Sports Center, Wisconsin Lutheran will look to even up the Scarlet Hawks in set 2 Let's see if Illinois Tech can continue their momentum. Well, let's see if Wisconsin Lutheran can find the right answers to get that set 2 victory. All of that and more here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network on YouTube Live after this break. Set 2 getting ready to begin here inside the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. Chris Rouse sitting courtside where the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors and the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks have switched sides for set 2. Illinois Tech with a 25-21 set 1 victory over Wisconsin Lutheran. And let's see how the Warriors, let's see how they respond to that Illinois Tech victory. They're actually out on the floor doing some interesting dance moves right now. Of course, volleyball is all fun, but I was actually hearing during their timeout, during the break in between sets, you could hear the coaching staff saying, earlier for Illinois Tech, we heard them saying they wanted energy. Meanwhile, for Wisconsin Lutheran, more on the mental side, like how much are we thinking about the game within the game was sort of the quote that I actually kind of heard from the Wisconsin Lutheran sideline. So let's see how that affects the Warriors as they come out here in set 2 with Hannah Rude to begin the set. Serving now right to left on your screen at home, meaning she'll be serving north to south to the Scarlet Hawks, and she starts it out with a service error. So the same way set 1 ended for Wisconsin Lutheran, that's the same way set 2 begins. They ended it with a set 1 service error. They begin set 2 with a service error, and now it'll be Zinkowitz to serve for Illinois Tech. Zinkowitz sends it over. It's received by Wigley. Francis going for the kill. Rude on the reception. Bartelt sets it up for Marone. Lopez to Francis to that back line. Rude. Bartelt bigging on the outside hit. Varden Over to Marone. Marone sends it long to the seats. And it's a 2-0 Scarlet Hawks start to the second set. Evenly played first set the majority of the way. There was a stretch in that first set. It was 14-13 as now Zinkowitz gets the error. There was a stretch with the majority of that set. It was only a 1-point swing, meaning it would be a 1-point advantage tied, and then it would swing either way, be tied again, up until Illinois Tech had a stretch where they went up 19-15 in set one. Scarlet Hawks finally able to pull away late after going up maybe 24-19 really. Obviously, they won the set 25-21, but 24-19 was really the point where it felt Illinois Tech had it in the bag. It was a weird shot clock, almost a shot clock violation. I know you're probably thinking, how did that happen in volleyball? The horn just went off in the gym, and that actually stopped a big run from Illinois Tech, allowing Wisconsin Lutheran to recover. And now we've got a player down on the floor, and that is Varden, who actually went over the line, and the point will go to Illinois Tech. Brooke Rifkin to serve. The former Richardson Eagle. Rifkin, a great player, former District Defensive Player of the Year down in the state of Texas when she played in her prep volleyball days. Rifkin controlling the serve now as Illinois Tech up 5-1. Rifkin sends it over clean. And over the back line, point to Wisconsin Lutheran, 5-2 score. Brooke Bartelt to serve, first-year player out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Bartelt sends it over, Zinkowitz on the reception. Lopez for Asperez, and blocked at the top of the net, point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Asperez had a very good opening set for Illinois Tech, recorded 4 kills for the Scarlet Hawks. To this point of the matchup, Asperez and Wilson both with 5, leading the way for Illinois Tech. Varden with 4 to lead Wisconsin Lutheran. Wilson trying to add to it. Long run from Biggin is successful as she got to the ball before the ball got to the stands. Francis off of Rude, and Illinois Tech by 3, 6-3. Lopez will sub out for Anna Jones. That was a well-hit ball by Lyndon Francis, and she put that one perfectly off the arms of Rude. And then once again, mentioned how unique the Keating Sports Center can be. The ball hit Rude in the hands, and she deflected it all the way to the offices here inside the Keating Center. Rude to Wigley. Rifkin, that's a long swing. Jones hits that over our head here at the table. Great catch by the coaching staff for Wisconsin Lutheran as that ball goes back to the Warriors on the serve. A number of people had their hands out here at the table, but it's Jenny Levoss and the Wisconsin Lutheran coaching staff making the grab on that errant hit from Jones. Charbonneau sends it over. Zinkowitz kept it alive. Asperez, that's twice we've seen that with Asperez where she was sort of backpedaling while the ball was sort of on a downward spiral towards her hand. We saw that in the first set where she sort of almost fell trying to get to the ball. Really almost as if maybe the floor here, like she stuck her foot in the floor. That's literally how it looked, like she got stuck on the floor. On that one, just a bad backstep. Hit into the net here by Wigley. And Illinois Tech again with the advantage, 7-5. Vetters in Sebastio. Onto the floor for the Scarlet Hawks, Zinkowitz and Wilson to the bench. Vetters on the far left side of the net in front. Sebastio with the ball now, getting ready to serve it into your camera. And there is the serve from Sebastio. Outside hit opportunity for Wigley is blocked by Jones, but it lands on the side out, off of the block from Jones. And now Wisconsin Lutheran in control of the serve. Wigley to serve. Wigley middle of the floor for the serve. Gets it over to the back line and an ace for Kayla Wigley. And we're now tied at 7 apiece. This is starting to look similar to set 1. Wiggly entered the match with 31 aces on the season. She added one of her stats there, couldn't add another on this one. Vetters. Charbonneau sets it up to the other side of the floor. Sebastio to Bartelt. Biggin sends it over the net. Rifkin to Jones. Gets it over clean. It's kept alive by Bartelt. Outside hit opportunity for Wisconsin Lutheran, and it's a perfect hit by Emily Marone. That's why she's one of those key players on this roster. Marone with 77 kills entering the matchup. 77 was good for third on the team. Varden entered with 71. That was good for fourth, both behind Biggin at 198 and Wiggly at 184 entering the match. Sebastio kept it alive. Hit for Vetters. Played on by Bartelt. Outside hit this time for Wisconsin Lutheran is blocked, but the block goes out of play. And Wisconsin Lutheran with the point off the hit from Biggin. Wiggly to serve. Wiggly doing a good job controlling the serve here for Wisconsin Lutheran. And gets the ace off the assistance from the net. Ball looked like it was going to die on the Wisconsin Lutheran side of the net. Wiggly put it down for the kill. Wiggly, her run of controlling the serve comes to an end following her own error into the net. And that was unfortunate for Wisconsin Lutheran. Wiggly did a great job of turning this match around here in set 2. Wisconsin Lutheran was down, and then we had, it looked to be similar to set 1 where the two teams were trading points. Wisconsin Lutheran with the momentum now. Smith, what a kill by Faith Smith. You can see her turn around and say, let's go, as she put it down, and the Warriors up 3. Smith, after the kill, she will now go to the bench. And we'll get our first look of the afternoon at the sophomore out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, Lorelei Gallo. Gallo listed as a 5'5" sophomore. Her first piece of action this afternoon will be a serve. No ace, as now Vetter sends it back over, and the point to Illinois Tech. Gallo this season does have 12 aces, couldn't add one there, as Vetters was able to return the ball for the Scarlet Hawks. Lopez and Francis resume for Illinois Tech to replace McMath and Jones. Lopez serves it over and long, out of play. Good read by Wisconsin Lutheran. They had about 3 players almost formed. They almost formed what appeared to be a bit of a triangle there, just to watch the ball go out. And they realized it was long. And now Wisconsin Lutheran with Charbonneau will control the serve. Vetters actually received what could have been a bit of a service error, but it's kept alive. Ball hit down the line. Marone didn't quite have the same success with that hit as she had earlier in this set. Emily Marone had a kill earlier where she was able to just punch one perfectly right down the line to get the point. She didn't get it here. Sebastio out, Wilson on for Illinois Tech. Zinkowitz will serve. As Illinois Tech looks to regain control of this set. Long run to the middle of the floor and then bumped over for Wisconsin Lutheran. They get the kill. That was a good run by Charbonneau, who perfectly put the ball in the air for the kill by Marone. That was a really good run. Charbonneau literally is right on line with me here at the table. You can see her eyes on the ball the entire way as she set that pass up. Francis hits it long. And the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Warriors by 4. This is the point of stretch 1. This is the point of set 1 where Illinois Tech was able to pull away from Wisconsin Lutheran. Now here in set 2, Wisconsin Lutheran up 15-10, and a violation against Illinois Tech. Coach Johnston coming out to argue the call here. As the Scarlet Hawks are trailing by 5, Coach Johnston actually just going to back off on the argument here as now Wisconsin Lutheran will continue to serve. Lopez sets up Wilson to the front of the net for Donaldson. Still couldn't get the kill. Varden able to get her hand underneath. And then the block by Donaldson goes long, got a play, and the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. All smiles on this Wisconsin Lutheran side of the floor. Meanwhile, on the Scarlet Hawks side of the floor, they're searching for answers. Coach Johnston takes a timeout, and also the argument continues. 16-10 Wisconsin Lutheran. Warriors by 6. Set 2 continues on the other side of this break. This is NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Wisconsin Lutheran with a 16-10 lead here in set 2 against the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Chris Rouse with you sitting courtside here at the Keating Sports Center, where the Scarlet Hawks lead the match 1-0 following a 25-21 set 1 win. But they trail here in set 2 16-10. And a key component to this Wisconsin Lutheran turnaround has to be Illinois Tech not being able to stay out of their own way as much as they were in set 1. Scarlet Hawks had no service errors in set 1. They have 3 here in set 2. Scarlet Hawks had 6 attack errors in set 1. They already have 3 here in set 2, with the Scarlet Hawks now trailing 16-10. Wisconsin Lutheran also controlling the serve thanks to the service from Kayla Wigley. And you can see the energy shifting towards Wisconsin Lutheran here on this north side of the floor with Emily Marone ready to serve. Warriors by 7. Marone sends it over, received by Rifkin. Lopez to Wilson. Wilson is blocked, but it's on the side out. And Illinois Tech back on the scoreboard after a lengthy control of the serve by Wisconsin Lutheran. Brooke Rifkin to serve. To that back line, Charbonneau hits it right to Zinkowitz. And the kill to Wisconsin Lutheran makes it 18-11 Warriors. Brooke Bartelt to serve. First-year player out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Bartelt hits it into the net. And the point to the Scarlet Hawks. Francis and Lopez will head to the bench as Jones and McMath come on. So that common serve of McMath and Jones for Asperes and Francis comes into play here with Olivia McMath sending the ball over on the serve. Outside hit for Biggin, kept alive by Jones. Zinkowitz played it to the back line. Only for Wisconsin Lutheran to play it for the outside with Biggin. It was received by Marone. Good set pass by Marone to set up Biggin. It wasn't exactly Marone's pass that got to Biggin directly, but her pass set it up. Bit of a hockey assist type pass. As now McMath finds Jones. Marone on the reception. Charbonneau for Wigley. That was a beautiful swing by Kayla Wigley. Perfect running start as she ran right to the outside. And a perfect right-hand hit to get the kill. Illinois Tech will take a timeout. 20-12, Wisconsin Lutheran with the advantage. The Scarlet Hawks look like they can feel set 2 slipping away, but there's still time to rally back. Let's see what they come up with on the other side of this break. NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Set 2 continues after this. Wisconsin Lutheran with a 20-12 set 2 advantage here at the Keating Sports Center over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Scarlet Hawks with a 1-0 advantage, having won the first set 25-21, but was Wisconsin Lutheran thoroughly in control of set 2. Illinois Tech able to respond here with Victoria Asperez as she comes up with the kill. 20-13. And now Sydney Wilson will serve for the Scarlet Hawks. Wilson sends it over, just snuck it over the extender. Wigley goes for the kill, and that's another great swing from Wigley. She's had a pair of beautiful swings, and honestly, could be the MVP of this set for Wisconsin Lutheran if they're able to pull off these last 4 points and get out of here with the win. Wigley controlled the serve the majority of the way, where Wisconsin Lutheran gained their breathing room from Illinois Tech. Rifkin on the long run. Here's Asperez who sends it over. Charbonneau to Wilson. McMath sets up Jones on the outside hit. The play is out of play, and the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Long hit from Jones. Once again, Kayla Wigley has controlled the serve here. The serve is here in set 2. On top of a pair of really nice kills, and there's another ace. Or we thought Wigley had the ace. That one just outside the line. And the point to Illinois Tech. Everyone was ready to celebrate the ace. I thought she got it in as well here at the table. The officials say otherwise, and the serve goes to Illinois Tech. Biggin, end of the net. Point to Illinois Tech. Also, Illinois Tech now controlling the serve with Asperez. They're down 7, getting late here in set 2. 22-15. Wisconsin Lutheran still has both of their timeouts, and just as we saw with Wigley, Asperez just misses an ace. Both of them very close to that back corner. But unfortunately for both, the serve went to the receiving team. The point on the serve went to the receiving team. Lorelai Gallo on the serve. That's going to be another error. Point to Illinois Tech. A couple of tough serves for Gallo here in the matchup. One at the end of set 1, now one here in set 2. Kayla Wigley, the senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, all smiles on the floor right now for the Warriors, and for good reason. She's had an amazing set here. She has 4 kills in the matchup, a couple of aces, also 3 assists. Lopez on the serve. Outside hit opportunity is blocked by Francis. That was a great block by Francis. It sent number 1 and 2, Varden and Marone, down to the floor. And now Illinois Tech back within 6. Lopez to serve. Lopez received by Wigley. Played in the air by Biggin. To the back line, it's Rifkin. Francis going for the kill. The ball hits the extender, and the point goes to Illinois Tech. That was off the hands of Marone. Once again, Varden was in the vicinity as well. With the point to Illinois Tech. Long run on the bump, and it is bumped over the net, now to play. And Illinois Tech able to rally back and pull within 4 here late in set 2. Lopez to serve. Lopez to serve is out of play on the error, and now set point for Wisconsin Lutheran. Charbonneau with an opportunity to get the Warriors even here with the Scarlet Hawks going into the 3rd set. Charbonneau sends it over, and it's just that, an ace for Charbonneau. And Wisconsin Lutheran rallies back from their 25-21 set 1 defeat. And they get a 25-19 set 2 victory. And this matchup will go 4 here inside the Keating Center. As we're tied at a set apiece, Illinois Tech with a 25-21 set 1 win. Wisconsin Lutheran with a 25-19 set 2 win. Pivotal 3rd set coming up on the other side of this break. When we return to the Keating Sports Center, Scarlet Hawks and Warriors tied at a set apiece, set 3. After this break, we'll be back with more from the Keating Center here on YouTube Live. We're guaranteed to go 4 sets today here inside the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. This is NCAA Division III women's volleyball action in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference. A number of matches going on today in the NAC, but this one we know for sure will go 4. Illinois Tech with a 25-21 set 1 win. Wisconsin Lutheran able to rally back with a 25-19 set 2 victory of their own. So far in this matchup, both teams with exactly 22 kills. Attack errors 12 against Wisconsin Lutheran, 11 against Illinois Tech. Hitting percentage 175 to 143 in favor of Illinois Tech. Both teams with 22 assists. Aces 5 for Wisconsin Lutheran. Illinois Tech yet to get an ace today. Meanwhile, there are 8 service errors from Wisconsin Lutheran, 5 from Illinois Tech. And both of these teams, Illinois Tech, 5 reception errors, none for Wisconsin Lutheran. The teams will switch sides again here. Illinois Tech will be on the right of your screen. They'll be going right to left. Wisconsin Lutheran will be headed left to right. here in set 3. Illinois Tech on the north side of the Keating Center on the right side, going right to left, and Wisconsin Lutheran obviously on the south side going in the opposite direction. Veronica Lopez will serve here to begin set 3. A couple of service errors for Lopez. No aces, as we mentioned, for Illinois Tech just yet, as now Lopez sends it over. Ball blocked at the net, and Donaldson comes up with the kill. Point to the Scarlet Hawks. So Illinois Tech opening the scoring here in the third set, but then they follow it up with the error to make it a 1-1 score. Serve coming now from Lauren Charbonneau. And Charbonneau sends it to the back line. Vetters made a long run. Jones setting up Francis. Wigley, Charbonneau. Biggin is blocked by the combination of Francis and Biggin's numerical counterpart, Donaldson. And the Scarlet Hawks with a 2-1 advantage. Now Zinkowitz will serve. She'll replace Vetters. Vetters has had a few quality hits today for Illinois Tech. But now to be Zinkowitz on the serve. Zinkowitz sends it over clean. Charbonneau to Biggin, and the kill for Biggin. Two-two score, Scarlet Hawks awaiting the serve from Emily Marone. 2-2 score, Wisconsin Lutheran's number 2, Marone to serve. And it's received by Rifkin. And now Zinkowitz. Francis will just slap it over. Bartelt setting up Biggin. Biggin perfectly placed ball on that back line. Makes it 3-2. Wisconsin Lutheran by 1 here in the third set. Marone. Lopez setting up Donaldson. It looked as if Baby Donaldson left it short. Ball just cleared. Jones partially blocked off the hands of Lopez. And the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. That was Varden at the top of the net who blocked it down to Lopez. And the ball ricocheted long behind the Illinois Tech side of the floor. Francis. Outside hit for Wigley. Wigley's blocked at the top of the net. Another opportunity. And the kill this time for Wisconsin Lutheran. 4-3 score. Scarlet Hawks down 1, but controlling the serve with Rifkin. The libero, the junior out of Dallas, Texas, serves it over to the senior out of Milwaukee in Wigley. Lopez sets up Jones. Soft touch from Jones, not quite enough to get the kill. Jones will try it again. It was blocked down by Biggin, and then it rolled underneath the net for the Scarlet Hawks point. So Wisconsin Lutheran, they did get the block. But they blocked it down on their own feet. Rifkin on the serve. Backline reception by Marone. Wigley going for one of those hard swings, which has netted her a few kills this afternoon, but was blocked at the net. Lopez sends it over to Bartelt. Biggin on the hit. Perfectly placed ball again by Biggin, as that one bounced into the faces of Rifkin and Zinkowitz. Great effort by both players to get down there, but that ball took a bit of a funny hop out in front of both. And it led to the point. Bartelt. Jones sends it over. Bartelt on the reception. Marone's turn. Blocked by Asperez, who kept it alive. And now Jones sends it over. Middle of the floor for Marone, and a perfectly placed kill by Emily Marone. And she just knocks that one right down in the middle of the floor. And Coach Mark Johnston with an early set 3 timeout. Wisconsin Lutheran with a 6-4 advantage. Timeout. Scarlet Hawks. Let's see how the Scarlet Hawks adjust on the other side of this break. After this break here inside of the Keating Center. 7 matches today will feature NAC conference teams in women's volleyball action. This one of 5 matches occurring today, actually one of 4 matches occurring today at noon Central Time. There will be a St. Norbert matchup at 1:30. Aurora and Marion occurring at 3 p.m. and St. Norbert playing in the tournament will have their second match of the day later in the evening. But here in the afternoon in Chicago, Wisconsin Lutheran with a 7-4 advantage over Illinois Tech. As this match here in the third set, we know we'll go 4 sets here. Also, Dominican and Edgewood will go 4 sets as Dominican just won their third set, winning 25-16 in set 3 to avoid a sweep at the hands of the second-best team in the NAC, the Edgewood Eagles. Lopez sets up Asperez. Sits over the net. Ball hit to the back line. Rifkin laid out for it. And you can see Rifkin's reaction as she couldn't quite get her hands underneath the ball. 8-4 Wisconsin Lutheran. The Illinois Tech coaching staff sort of having a conversation with Rifkin. And you hear them sort of say upward there. They want the ball going into the air. Jones. They set up Francis, and Lyndon Francis comes through with the kill. A couple of players got a few touches in there before the ball went from Jones to Francis, but it finished with Lyndon Francis, as now Illinois Tech will control the kill with Francis herself. Francis, received by Wigley on the back line. Smith sends it long. Point to Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks down. They're within 2 here. Would love to win this set, go to a 4th set, try to put Wisconsin Lutheran away, and look to win their 4th consecutive match. Wisconsin Lutheran, a huge second set win. This is a pivotal 3rd set. They can win this to help them get back into the win column following their loss against Wheaton on Tuesday. Jones hits it off the hands of Biggin and down for the Scarlet Hawks kill. Right place, right time for Lydia Biggin. Unfortunately for her, the ball went the wrong direction, and it allowed Illinois Tech to take advantage. Service error, as now Wisconsin Lutheran will take control of the serve. We mentioned how we got 4 matches going on in the NAC right now. We got 4 other matches going on in this time window. So we have 5 matches in this time window in the NAC, 4 other matches going on. And then, of course, there will be 3 other matches going on today. So a full slate, 8 matches, including NAC teams, 2 of which include St. Norbert, the top team in the conference. Sebastio on the ace. Illinois Tech ties the score at 9. And how appropriate, it's their number 9, the senior out of Berlin, Germany, that gets the kill, gets the point. Sebastio sends it to the middle of the floor. Wigley just tapped it over. Francis keeps it alive. Asperez partially blocked. Asperez on the second try. Wigley partially blocked, but she got it down. Wisconsin Lutheran has done a great job in the middle of the floor, whether it be Wigley or Biggin. But it seems like with Rifkin, and it's not just been Rifkin on that back line, it's been Rifkin and Zinkowitz, it's been Rifkin and Vetters. Illinois Tech has just had a hard time really getting the ball in that middle of the floor. And there's one placed perfectly in the corner, and Wisconsin Lutheran gets the ace. Assistant Coach Parver coming out on the floor. It appears that they're saying that his team needs to talk. No communication. He was talking about the energy in the first set earlier, where he said he'd like to see them communicate, talk, show some energy. Say, hey, we're playing volleyball. Let's have some fun. But Wisconsin Lutheran, following that error, they turn the serve over to Illinois Tech, where Asperez will serve. Smith, received by Sebastio. Asperez for Vetters. Really good hit by Vetters as she got it off of Wigley. And Wigley's contact went straight up off the basket, the south basket for the basketball court here in the Keating Center. Scarlet Hawk basketball season is approaching in November. Got a few players in the building. I know I saw Garrison Carter here earlier. As now here's Wisconsin Lutheran. Marone tried to go for the kill. That ball's coming to the table as Asperez ran right into the table as she ran past me here. Good contact. But the point goes to Wisconsin Lutheran. And it appears Asperez is okay. I saw her slightly grimace as she hit the floor. And it looks like they're going to at least, she's just going to get some water here. So it's a good sign that Asperez is not really getting that leg checked. Serve coming from Wisconsin Lutheran. Good block by Lopez. Varden should have had a kill. Instead, it's Illinois Tech's #1, which provides the point for Wisconsin Lutheran as Vetters just hit it long. I mentioned that earlier. Cecilia Vetters has had some quality hits. Some of them just a little too hard. She'll put that one out of play. Willa Hollander to serve. Lopez unable to get her hand underneath that block from Marone. And Wisconsin Lutheran by 3, 14-11. Hollander again, the sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri to serve. Served at the end of the first set for the Warriors. Hits the net and gets the assistance in the kill. Illinois Tech's coaching staff, they thought it was short, but the point to Wisconsin Lutheran as the ball takes the hop. Timeout, Scarlet Hawks. Wisconsin Lutheran leads it 15-11 here in set 3. Coach Johnston and assistant coach Parra having a discussion here as they try to figure out what's the best method of attack against Wisconsin Lutheran. But let's go over some of those matches that we have going on in the conference. 8 total matches today. 5 of them going on here in this noon window as we speak. In fact, Lakeland, the number 10 team in the conference, already with a win as they were able to sweep the Rockford Regents. So Lakeland with a 3-0 win, 3-0 win, taking set 1 25-9, set 2 25-18, and set 3 25-13. So Lakeland, the number 10 team in the conference with their win, they're now at 8-13 in the season, 2-3 in conference play, and putting the pressure on Illinois Tech to actually win this matchup here, as they will be the team to step into 9th place if Illinois Tech were to lose here against Wisconsin Lutheran. Elsewhere, Concordia University of Wisconsin just finished off MSOE 3-0, 25-15, 25-16, 25-16. So the number 7 team in the conference, they beat the number 8 team, so there is room for error for Illinois Tech. But, of course, they would love to get things done themselves here in this matchup. And then, of course, Concordia University of Chicago taking on Alverno. They lead that match 2-0, set 3 beginning with Alverno up 8-4. St. Norbert still with 2 contests to go. And then number 3, Aurora, starts at 3 against number 14, Marion. And a bit of a miss hit there by Charbonneau as she tried to spike it down to the opposite side of the net. Instead, she just spiked it into the net. And Illinois Tech gets the kill. One other score, Dominican forced a 4th set against Edgewood. Edgewood leads the match 2-1, but in the 4th set, Edgewood with a 6-4 advantage. London Francis off of Biggin. Rifkin just bumps it over. Varden made contact. Charbonneau tried to send it over. Varden does send it over, and it lands inside the line for the kill. A perfect place for Varden. Wisconsin Lutheran, they've done a great job with some of the placements on these hits. And now it'll be Charbonneau to serve. Charbonneau to serve. Sends it over to Vetters. Lopez. Donaldson spiked it, but Bartelt was there to receive and send it back. Biggin going for the kill. Kept in the air by Rifkin. Lopez to Donaldson. Charbonneau for Varden. Francis just sort of punched it to keep it alive, and it worked. Outside hit from Marone. Doesn't make it back to the net. Point to Illinois Tech. Jones will replace Sebastio. And now Zinkowitz will replace Vetters as Zinkowitz will serve. Zinkowitz getting the instructions as the Scarlet Hawks are going to have her serve from the side nearest to the bench. Zinkowitz gets to record a kill or an ace, has a service error to this point. Rifkin, that's a long run, and the point goes to Wisconsin Lutheran. (17-13) Warriors with Marone on the serve. That ball's coming to the table. Jones will get there this time. Zinkowitz sends it over. Charbonneau for Wigley. Middle of the floor. That's usually where Wigley's been able to strike, but not this time as the Scarlet Hawks had it scouted. Ball punched over again. Rifkin, middle of the floor. Jones sends it long. Point to Wisconsin Lutheran. It appears Illinois Tech has made the adjustment to Wisconsin Lutheran's best strategy, which is set up those outside hits to go to the middle of the floor. They've been feeding Kayla Wigley the majority of the afternoon. That time Illinois Tech had it scouted, and it was their own hand which provided the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Wigley could strike again, and she will. That was just too perfect for Jones. You can even see some of the Scarlet Hawks players nodding as they realized that ball was just hit right in the perfect spot for Wigley. Jones bumped it into the air, and it went right over the net, hit the ball right to Wigley. All she had to do was make the right contact. Francis sends it over. This time it's Varden. Francis tries to punch it down and does for Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech, they've been down the majority of this third set, but they're in the neighborhood. They're down 5 here. And just when Illinois Tech pulls maybe within 2 or 3 points, that's when you get maybe an attack error or a violation. Now you get a double block as it's Jones and Francis both there to get the point for Illinois Tech. Rifkin to serve. Rifkin sent it over clean. Wigley for the middle of the floor. Once again, whenever they set up Kayla Wigley on those outside hits, she's been looking middle of the floor the majority of the contest. That's where she's had most of her success as well against Illinois Tech. Wigley only with 6 kills in this matchup is actually Biggin leading the way. She has 9 for Wisconsin Lutheran. They got 7 out of Marone and 6 out of Varden. Those are the air quote usual suspects for Wisconsin Lutheran when it comes to leading the team in kills. Jones hits one into the net. Faith Smith was there for the block, but Faith really didn't have to jump as that one gets right into the net. Brooke Bartelt to serve. Service error for Bartelt, her second of the match. 4 assists for Bartelt, no aces, no kills. And that was her second service error of the match. As we mentioned, 14 digs for Bartelt, as you would expect from the team's libero. Rifkin on the other end actually tied with 7 digs with Maya Zinkowitz. Bartelt for Wigley. Zinkowitz on a bump that goes high into the air. Bartelt, one hand set into the air. Biggin looking for kill number 10. Lopez sets it over. Biggin looking for a kill again. Lopez on the bump. Rifkin on the bump pass. They look for Jones outside hit and the kill for Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks back within 4. They're fired up for Anna Jones. Jones, a senior out of Alexandria, Virginia. Coming through big here on the volleyball court for Illinois Tech. Here's Wigley. Jones again. Asperez on the kill. Good job by Asperez. Coach Johnston was chanting over the entire way. He could see the flight trajectory of the ball. So all Asperez had to do was step up and, once again, sort of what we saw at Wigley earlier. Step up and make the quality contact. Now an ace for Illinois Tech. And the Scarlet Hawks continue to cut into the deficit. Toshiko Jones on the ace. Toshiko Jones again on the serve. Outside hit for Wiggly. You know that's going middle of the floor. Rifkin knew it as well. Jones hits it to the back line, and Illinois Tech has rallied back within one. They're going to force Jenny Lee Voss and the Warriors to take a timeout. 21-20 Wisconsin Lutheran. This is a pivotal third set here in this matchup. We're tied at a set apiece. We'll be back with more here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live from the Keating Center. Back here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. This is Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks women's volleyball here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Chris Rouse sitting courtside here for set 3, where Wisconsin Lutheran leads it 21-20, but Illinois Tech cutting into this deficit. They've rallied all the way back to pull within one. Match tied at a set apiece. Pivotal third set as Toshiko Jones will now serve for Illinois Tech to try to get them back level on the scoreboard in set 3. Middle of the floor for Wiggly. That's going to be a kill for Wisconsin Lutheran, as Wiggly, who typically has been an outside hitter in this matchup for the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors, got one right in the middle of the floor. And a lot of her swings have been set for the middle of the floor. That time, Wisconsin Lutheran just put Wiggly in the middle and let her get the kill off the block. Wiggly off Zinkowitz, who sort of hit that one with the elbow in self-defense. Asperez. Lopez now sends it over. Charbonneau for Smith. And Jones on the reception. Lopez for Jones. Jones sent that one just a little too far out of play. And Wisconsin Lutheran takes the advantage. 23-20. Warriors with the serve. They have the only timeout remaining in this third set. Biggin. Received by Zinkowitz. Jones again on the outside hit, blocked by Smith. Toshiko Jones sets up Anna Jones. Charbonneau to Smith, Wiggly. They both sort of had a miscommunication. Everyone smiling for Wisconsin Lutheran. But the point to Illinois Tech. Vetters and Sebastio back on for the Scarlet Hawks. They replaced Zinkowitz and Anna Jones. Pretty good run for Anna Jones while she was out there. A few quality kills, a few quality hits as well. Illinois Tech down 2 here in set 3. Sebastio with an ace and a kill. Couldn't add to the ace total there. Toshiko Jones. They set up Asperez. That was blocked at the top of the net. And the point to Illinois Tech. Deflection at the top of the net from Wisconsin Lutheran. You can see all of the Scarlet Hawks looking for the line judge to make the call there. Scarlet Hawks were successful. Bit of a short serve from Sebastio. Lopez for Asperez. Charbonneau for Wiggly, middle of the floor. Lopez. They set up Vetters to the back line. Wiggly again. Perfectly placed ball by Wiggly. Illinois Tech started to shift everyone in the middle of the floor. Wiggly went to the outside. She went to that northwest corner here at the Keating Center, and as a result got the kill. Here is Wiggly with set point. Bit of a mishit there as Vetters sends it over. Biggin sets up Marone. Vetters, Lopez tapped over the top of the net by Asperez. Biggin going for the kill, and she got it as Asperez knocked it down on her own side, and Wisconsin Lutheran takes set 3. 25-22 Warriors set 3 win, and now Wisconsin Lutheran will look to try to end it in set 4. So Illinois Tech's 3-match win streak on the line in set 4 as they take on the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors when we return to the Keating Sports Center. Wisconsin Lutheran leads it 2-1, set 4 on the other side of this break. This is NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and YouTube Live. Plenty of fast-paced women's volleyball action going on today in the NAC today. This is Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Women's Volleyball, NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball action on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Getting ready for set 4 between the Scarlet Hawks and the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. The Warriors lead the match 2-1. Illinois Tech took set 1 25-21. Wisconsin Lutheran able to take the last 2 sets 25-19 and 25-22, and they'll look to try to end Illinois Tech's 3-match winning streak in this 4th set as soon as we get started. Before we get started, we'll go over our next scoreboard elsewhere in the conference. Edgewood with a 3-1 win over Dominican, so the second-best team in the conference, continuing their winning ways by defeating the number 11 team. Scores of 25-13 in set 1, 25-9 in set 2, and 25-13 in set 4. Dominican able to win set 3, 25-16 in that matchup. Concordia is taking on Alverno as we speak, and Concordia actually leads that match 2-0, with Alverno getting ready to force a 4th set over in River Forest with a 24-19 advantage in set 3, as that matchup looks like they are going to be headed to a set 4 as well. Concordia University of Wisconsin with a 3-0 sweep of MSOE, so the 7th team in the conference beats the 8th team in the conference, 25-15, 25-16, 25-16. Didn't even let MSOE get to 20. And then Lakeland, the number 10 team in the conference, they defeat Rockford 3-0. Dominant performance from Lakeland, winning 25-9 in set 1, 25-18 set 2, and 25-13 in set 3. Set 4 here at the Keating Center as we return to live action with Lauren Charbonneau getting ready to serve for the Warriors. Wisconsin Lutheran, 4th best team in the conference. Their 7-11 record, 3-1 in conference play, and they give up the first point here in set 4. Wisconsin Lutheran, 4th best team as we continue to mention. Illinois Tech, 9th place, 6-11, 2-3 in conference play. Illinois Tech has won 3 straight matches. They've won 3 straight matches on their regular season schedule, but they've lost 3 straight against Wisconsin Lutheran. And there's a long service error, point to the Warriors. So Illinois Tech, they have not beaten Wisconsin Lutheran since 2022. And would love to get back into the win column here with a win this afternoon to keep their win streak at 4. And once again, Wisconsin Lutheran is giving them all they can handle here. And once again, this Scarlet Hawks team came in with a lot of momentum, clinging to their winning streak. Ball sent over the net. Rifkin. They played it outside to Francis. Kept alive by Wisconsin Lutheran. Ball sent over by the Warriors. Francis with a long run. Ball out of play. I said Illinois Tech beat Wisconsin Lutheran in 2022. That was incorrect. They beat Wisconsin Lutheran October 16th, 2021. There's October 1st, 2022, where Wisconsin Lutheran started the win streak of 3 straight. They beat them October 1st, October 21st, and October 26th. So Illinois Tech, it's been quite some time. October 16th, 2021, the last time they defeated Wisconsin Lutheran. And that was here inside the Keating Center. And that day, it was Briar Moore who led the way for Illinois Tech with 12 kills. As Illinois Tech won 3-0. Scarlet Hawks also won the very first time these two teams met back on September the 3rd, 2016, 3-1. But since then, Illinois Tech has been followed by a 3-match win streak, which they ended, and then they've been followed by another 3-match win streak, which they are facing right now. Biggin sends it over. Vetters kept alive by Charbonneau. Backside hit for Wigley. Kept alive by Illinois Tech. Vetters to the middle of the floor. Bartelt kept it alive. They're going to try Wigley again. Wigley with a 2-hand set, but she set it too far. That was a good read by Wigley. Showing off that volleyball IQ there. Tried to read the play, but just sent it too long. Toshiko Jones to serve. Jones, the 5'2" sophomore out of Washington. Hadn't seen Toshiko Jones really until that last set came to the end. We saw her come in when Illinois Tech rallied back to within a point. Right now, Illinois Tech tied on the scoreboard at 4 apiece. Mitch, we didn't see Toshiko Jones in that third set literally until about the end when Illinois Tech got within a point. We saw Jones out there really to finish the set, but Illinois Tech unable to win it. Asperez blocked at the top. And the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Too many hits, four hits for Illinois Tech. Wigley would have had the kill anyway as Toshiko Jones was out of position. And now Biggin will get the serve. Lydia Biggin sends it over to Sebastio. Asperez off of Bartelt. That's going to be a tough play. A bit of a campfire there for Wisconsin Lutheran as they had Bartelt, Charbonneau, and also Marone all in the area. Wilson to serve. 6 kills in the match for Wilson. Charbonneau sets it up for Smith, who just sends it too long. And the point to Illinois Tech. Haven't really seen Smith with too many hits. At least not in that third set. We see Smith smiling. We mentioned her fingers earlier. She shook hands with Charbonneau and immediately smiled because I think she's got those taped fingers there. Now it's 7-5 Illinois Tech. Wilson to serve again. Ball sent over clean, and Wilson gets the ace for Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks by 3. First ace of the match for Wilson. Charbonneau set up Wigley. Long hit by Rifkin. Great hit, but it's well out of play. That was a good effort. Good strength to get underneath it. Good swing, but not enough to keep it in play. Wigley to serve. Wigley with 8 kills to go with 3 aces. Also has 3 assists and 3 service errors. And now as a 4th ace, As that ball lands inside, actually maybe landed on the line. And Wisconsin Lutheran back within one. What a match from Wiggly. Biggin leads the way in kills with 10. But Wiggly with 9 kills to go with 4 aces. Bartelt sets up Marone. Rifkin with a tough run. Another good swing from Rifkin. All afternoon we've heard the Illinois Tech coaching staff conversating with Rifkin. They've been saying upward on some of those swings. But she couldn't quite get that one where a teammate could do anything with it. There's one from Marone where the ball was placed perfectly for Emily Marone. All she had to do was spike it down, and she did. 9-8, Wisconsin Lutheran. Wiggly controlled the serve in set 2 when Wisconsin Lutheran was able to gain significant breathing room from Illinois Tech, and also she had a few kills that helped Wisconsin Lutheran put that set away. Coach Johnston and the Scarlet Hawks will take a timeout. It's 10-8 Warriors here in set 4. Scarlet Hawks trying to find the answers to the problems caused by the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Let's see what Coach Johnston and his coaching staff come up with on the other side of this break. It's Scarlet Hawks women's volleyball here on YouTube Live. Back here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, you're watching Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks women's volleyball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Glad that you're joining us for another Saturday of Illinois Tech athletics. Scarlet Hawks will hit the road in volleyball for their next 2 matches against Dominican on the 14th and MSOE on the 18th. Scarlet Hawks will see Andrews for the second time this season. First time they'll have them at the Keating Center. That'll be on October the 21st. Scarlet Hawks played Andrews back in September. And that will be Illinois Tech's next home matchup on the 21st. They'll see Alverno on the 25th. And then on the 29th, they'll see Benedictine. So Illinois Tech, those are the next 3 home matches for women's volleyball. Anna Jones on the hit and the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Women's soccer home Wednesday against Dominican on October the 15th at 7 p.m. And then next Saturday, soccer doubleheader at 1 p.m. beginning with women's soccer and concluding with a 3:30 p.m. matchup as men's soccer takes on MSOE. But right now in women's volleyball, Anna Jones almost had the point. Toshiko Jones. It's Rifkin who sends it over off the pass from Lopez. Smith with a hit and a collision as Toshiko and Anna Jones both collide with one another. And Coach Johnston immediately looking down the bench. He's going to go with some reserves. Madison Gowan, number 4, sophomore out of Comfort, Texas, right in front of the net with the purple shoes on. End of the match for the first time today. And Olivia McMath, the sophomore out of Midland, Michigan, returns for Illinois Tech. Started to see less of McMath and more of Toshiko Jones, but now a sub from Coach Johnston. Asperez sends it over where Wiggly made contact. That's a rainbow hit, hard hit by Marone. And she definitely got underneath that one. A perfect rainbow, but sends it long out of play. It'll be Asperez to serve for Illinois Tech as Rifkin comes off the floor. And now the ace for Asperez makes it 12-10. Asperez serves it over. Smith, well played by Asperez. Outside hit for Anna Jones. Jones with a good hit, but not a kill. Received by Wiggly. It'll be Donaldson who sends it over. Smith tapped it right over Donaldson's head. Arnold Jones tries to catch Wisconsin Lutheran scrambling. The ball hits the official, who is out of play, and the point goes to Wisconsin Lutheran. Jones was trying to aim for that back corner, that northeast corner here in the Keating Center. But unfortunately for Honor Jones, she hit the official, who, as I mentioned, was out of play. Made it an easy call for him. 13-10 Wisconsin Lutheran. McMath for Donaldson, partially blocked by Marone and Varden. It'll be Marone on the reset. McMath, outside hit for Jones. Wigley on the reception. A couple of good passes for Wisconsin Lutheran, only for it to be set over the net. The hit from Donaldson goes off the hands of Hollander, and the point to Illinois Tech. Faith Smith and Willa Hollander will go to the bench for Wisconsin Lutheran. And they get Bartelt back out there. Biggin is also now going to play on that back line. Wisconsin Lutheran, they've sort of been using Biggin and Wigley almost as if you would see free safeties in football. They're sort of the last line of defense near that back line. London Francis, played by Bartelt. Varden goes for the kill, and she comes up with it. 14-11, Wisconsin Lutheran. So Wisconsin Lutheran, after this, they'll see Aurora on Thursday the 16th, and they'll see Concordia University of Chicago next Saturday at noon. So for Wisconsin Lutheran, we'd love to get this win before get this win back in conference play, before going deeper into the conference schedule. And now the point to the Warriors. They lead at 15-11. Coming up next for Wisconsin Lutheran, they had a non-conference loss on Tuesday. If they were to win this, that would be huge before they go into 5 more conference matches against Aurora, Concordia University, Chicago, MSOE, Dominican, and Lakeland. Wisconsin Lutheran, the 4th best team in the conference. And Francis gets the point here for Illinois Tech. Wisconsin Lutheran, the 4th best team in the conference. And if they were to win this matchup here, they got a big test coming up on Thursday against Aurora, the 3rd best team in conference. And then they'll have a number of matches that are favorable in terms of the standings against number 12 Concordia University of Chicago, number 8 MSOE, number 11 Dominican, and number 10 Lakeland. And right now, Wisconsin Lutheran against number 9 Illinois Tech in the NAC. They have a 16-12 advantage. And the NAC, I know I mentioned this on Wednesday night when I was here for Illinois Tech Concordia, that the NAC, there's a lot of competition in this conference in women's volleyball. You look at the standings, and when you look at the overall records, a lot of these teams are well under 500. Wisconsin Lutheran is 4th in the conference, and they're 4 under. But in the NAC, you have a number of teams that are either right at 500, a game or 2 over it, or if they're not right at it, or a game or 2 over it, right under it at a game under it, and that's Illinois Tech at 2-3 in conference play. And some of these teams in the conference that are at 500 or at least 1 under, they find themselves in situations where now every head-to-head matchup will be key towards the tiebreaker for one of those final 8 spots in the conference. Here's Wigley. Good rally by these two teams while I explain the conference output right now, as now Francis gets the error for Illinois Tech. It's such a fun conference. If you love volleyball, this NAC, the NAC Women's Conference, could be a fun one to watch here in October. Yes, there are 3 teams that are unbeaten at the top in St. Norbert, Edgewood, and Aurora. But all of those teams will have to play one another, and they'll have to play some of those teams in the mix, like Illinois Tech, Benedictine, or Wisconsin Lutheran. Asperez. Asperez again gets the kill this time. Asperez couldn't get the kill with the swing. She got it with the set, and she just sets it down perfectly on the Wisconsin Lutheran side of the net. 17-15, Wisconsin Lutheran with the lead. Olivia McMath to serve. 2 timeouts apiece for Wisconsin Lutheran. Or excuse me, 2 timeouts for Wisconsin Lutheran remaining in this set. Illinois Tech with only 1. Biggin with the kill. Seemed like Biggin had been sitting on 9 kills for quite some time earlier in this matchup. And now here comes Biggin, who gives Wisconsin Lutheran an 18-15 lead, and Mark Johnston will burn that final timeout for Illinois Tech here in the 4th set. Scarlet Hawks with their backs against the wall. Let's see if they can fight back and force a 5th and deciding set when we return after this break here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Lydia Biggin with the latest kill for Wisconsin Lutheran. She has 12 kills in the match to lead the way this afternoon for the Warriors. She's been the kill leader all season long for Wisconsin Lutheran. Entering the day for Lydia Biggin, she had 198 kills, averaging just under 3 a set at 2.96. And today, Biggin with 12 to lead all with kills. Also 9 from Kayla Wigley, leading to help Wisconsin Lutheran out to this 18-15 advantage. Here is Kayla Wigley right on cue. Hits it to Rifkin. McMath sets up Gowan. Gowan didn't have enough on that one. Point to Wisconsin Lutheran. There'll be some key turning points in this match. I have to say that when Wigley controlled the serve in set 2 for Wisconsin Lutheran, that was the turning point that allowed the Warriors to take that set. And really, they've been in control. In the 3rd set, there were a few kills as well from Wigley, right in the middle of the floor, which helped Wisconsin Lutheran get away from Illinois Tech. And it was just a few late hits that hurt the Scarlet Hawks, allowed Wisconsin Lutheran to take that 3rd set and go up 2-1. Here in the 4th set, Illinois Tech has been in the mix, but they've trailed the majority of this set as well, as now Smith comes through. And here comes Wigley to serve. Once again, Wigley, we mentioned her 9 kills, also 4 aces today. Couldn't quite make it 5 there. Anna Jones blocked at the net by Smith. Almost a collision as Wigley and Biggin almost fell over one another, and they kept the ball alive somehow, did the Warriors. Asperez bumped into the air by Wigley. Outside hit from Marone. McMath, Jones, Gowan. Off the hands of Wigley, and the point to Illinois Tech. Much needed kill for Illinois Tech makes it 20-17. Wisconsin Lutheran in set 4. Scarlet Hawks trying to force a 5th and deciding set. That'll help the cause as Asperez gets the ace. I mentioned how just about everywhere else in the conference today, everyone wrapped it up early. Number of sweeps elsewhere in the scores. And now a kill from Biggin. Concordia, Wisconsin with a sweep of MSOE today, 3-0. Lakeland swept Rockford 3-0. Edgewood with a 3-1 win over Dominican earlier today. Alverno forced a 4th set, but they trailed 17-12 with Concordia University of Chicago looking to wrap that one up in 4 sets. Meanwhile here, Illinois Tech down 3, 21-18, looking to force a 5th and deciding set. Donaldson, good run by Wigley. Outside hit from Marone, kept alive by Rifkin. It's Anna Jones who sends it over. Charbonneau to Varden. McMath, Rifkin, it's Anna Jones. And a good swing from Anna Jones gets the kill. Off the hands of Lydia Biggin. Illinois Tech will sub Gowan out, and it will be the sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri, Taryn Jones in the serve for Illinois Tech. 21st set play of the season for Jones. She has 4 aces to go with 2 service errors. And Jones gets the ace here to allow Illinois Tech to pull within 1. Timeout Wisconsin Lutheran as Jenny Lee Voss and the Warriors, maybe they feel like they're closing this one out a little bit too sloppy. They have a 1-point advantage, and they'll take a timeout to talk it over. Coach Voss in her 9th season with Wisconsin Lutheran. Meanwhile, Coach Johnston in his 7th season with Illinois Tech. So a couple of coaches that have been around this NAC conference the last few years. But when you look at the standings in the NAC, a lot of these teams right there sitting on top of each other. St. Norbert 14-4, 5-1 conference play. Edgewood 14-6. They went to 6-0 earlier, and then Aurora 13-6. They go to 4-0. They're in 4-0 in conference play, and then you got Wisconsin Lutheran 3-1. Benedictine and Concordia University of Wisconsin both 3-2. Lakeland 2-3. Illinois Tech 2-3. Rockford and MSOE all right there in the mix with one another, battling for those final spots in the conference. So it just makes you wonder, with this conference continuing to be jumbled up and everyone continuing to have matches, plenty of matches to go. I mean, this is a Wisconsin Lutheran team. They have 5 matches coming up. Their next 5 are in conference. 4 of the next 5 for Illinois Tech are in conference. So it'll be interesting to see how things turn out as we continue to run the rest of the way in the NAC. Illinois Tech, by the way, courtesy of Rockford losing, they did jump up a spot indeed. Illinois Tech currently sits in 8th, while Lakeland sits in 7th. And now Wigley sends the ball long. And so as a result of MSOE and Rockford losing, Illinois Tech has jumped up to 8th. And now here is Illinois Tech's number 8, Taryn Jones to serve in a tied 4th set. Wigley to Charbonneau. Ball hit by Marone and the kill. Huge kill by Emily Marone. This is a huge 4th set, huge finish to this match for Illinois Tech in terms of conference. If you win, you get to 500. If you lose, you're down 2 in the conference, and you lose that 8th place spot you just gained right back to Rockford and MSOE. Here's Donaldson, who sends it over. Ball sent over the net. Point to Illinois Tech. So results of the scores earlier, Lakeland now in 7th. Concordia, Wisconsin in 6th. Lakeland in 7th. Illinois Tech is in 8th. Rockford and MSOE 9th and 10th respectively. If Illinois Tech loses, they fall behind both Rockford and MSOE by virtue of those two teams being 2 and 3 in conference, and Illinois Tech would fall to 2 and 4. That's if results were to favor Wisconsin Lutheran here. Meanwhile, Anna Jones picks up the service error at a tough time for the Scarlet Hawks. And you can see it on Anna's face. She knew, she sort of almost bit her hand right after she sent that one over. Let's see if the Scarlet Hawks can get it back. Marone serves her right into the net. Well, just as Jones spotted Wisconsin Lutheran the point, Marone gave it right back with her own error. So now Brooke Rifkin to serve. Pivotal point in this 4th set. Rifkin received by Marone. Charbonneau for Wigley, and she's been controlling the middle of the floor all afternoon for Wisconsin Lutheran. With that kill, Wigley now has 10, and it'll be match point for Brooke Bartelt and the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Bartelt's ace attempt goes long for an error, and we're tied at 24. Bartelt thought it was touched. They'll send Wigley to argue and get the explanation there. And the explanation is point goes to Illinois Tech with McMath to serve. Tied at 24. McMath on the serve. Received by Wigley. Charbonneau. Wigley going right to the middle of the floor again. Kill number 11 for Kayla Wigley. Sort of the go-to play for Wisconsin Lutheran. Find Wigley for the outside hit. Let her hit it in the middle of the floor. Match point again, this time for Wisconsin Lutheran. Biggin sent it over clean. It looked like it was deflected, and it was. Point to Illinois Tech off the contact. Tied at 25. Set 4 continues. It'll be Vetters to serve. Vetters sends it over, received by Bartelt. Ball tapped by Smith at the net, and the point to Wisconsin Lutheran. Will the third time be the charm for the Warriors? For the third time, it's match point here in set 4. Kayla Wigley with 11 kills and 4 aces this afternoon for Wisconsin Lutheran. Had a huge second set, and she may have just got the ace. She has gotten the ace to secure a win for the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. 11 kills, 5 aces for Kayla Wigley as Wisconsin Lutheran gets the win 3-1. The Warriors in Illinois Tech's 3-match win streak. And as a result, Wisconsin Lutheran will keep a firm grip on 4th place before their big matchup with Aurora, the 3rd place team, on Thursday, October the 16th. Illinois Tech, they fall to 6-12 on the season. They go to 2-4 in conference play. And so Illinois Tech, which had jumped up to 8th place as a result of a couple of conference losses earlier today, they'll fall right back to 10th. So Illinois Tech started today at 9th. They went up to 8th. They will fall back to maybe 10th or 11th, depending on how the mathematics shake out with everything else going on in the conference with teams such as MSOE, Lakeland, and Lakeland moving forward for the standings. Wisconsin Lutheran, they improved to 8-11 on the season, 4-1 in conference play. Firm grip on 4th place. They'll see the 3rd place team, Aurora, in their next matchup on Thursday. Illinois Tech will hit the road for a pair against Dominican and MSOE before returning home for a non-conference tilt against Andrews on October the 21st. That wraps it up for us here inside the Keating Sports Center, where once again our final, the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors win it 3-1 over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Illinois Tech took set 1 25-21, but 25-19, 25-22, and 27-25 wraps it up for Wisconsin Lutheran to help them gain another win, their 8th of the season. The next time we'll have Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks athletics will be Wednesday, October the 15th at 7 p.m. when it's women's soccer taking on Dominican. And then on October the 18th, a soccer doubleheader. It's women's soccer at 1 p.m., men's soccer at 3:30 p.m. as they take on the MSOE Raiders. The next time we'll see the Scarlet Hawks will be on October the 21st when they take on Andrews right here inside the Keating Sports Center. For all of our crew, for Eric Willowhite and the rest of the crew here inside the Keating Sports Center and all of the crew here at the Illinois Tech Institute of Technology, I'm Chris Rouse. This has been Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks women's volleyball. Once again, the final, Wisconsin Lutheran wins it 3-1. This has been another presentation of NCAA Division III women's volleyball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and YouTube Live. So long and happy Saturday from Chicago.